when we have the data, all kind of exciting questions can be asked and get a pretty good idea what's really going on. So one of these exciting questions I can think of right now in the third week of using AMU is what kind of a blood sugar level am I going to sleep with? This question is very exciting because if I came to think about it, that I'm spending 1/3 of my life sleeping, and the damage that the circulating sugar does to the body, well, I guess by now that shouldn't be a news to you if you're listening to my rumbling here. But if it is, well, according to my studies and my research and my practical observation, because I just did a calibration for my wife, and her body processes the sugar within an hour, and her blood sugar just goes back normal. I wish I would have that kind of metabolism. So I can't wait to get back to my computer, because as I'm going for my walk, trying to get my blood sugar done, and this week is my first week where I'm quite dedicated and purposeful on achieving certain goals. One is not to go to bed with unhealthy blood sugar level. So if I can, well, I'm gonna look back on the last 3 weeks. 2 weeks completed, yeah, almost 3 weeks, and see just what level of sugar I went to bed with. Well, that is very exciting for me, that from now on, since I have AMU, I can just routinely measure my blood sugar and simply do whatever it takes not to abuse my body unknowingly. I mean, if I would have known this, I wouldn't do this to myself. But I didn't know. And if not for the chain of events that happened with me for the last few months and ended up in the hospital with high blood sugar, I wouldn't even know the difference. I mean, there's just how deep we're going in our own research, and even if somebody wants to do it preemptively, knowing something from books and knowing something from experience, it makes all the difference. It makes all the difference, because it is very scary. It is very scary to end up in a hospital with high blood sugar and then go deeper into the studies and then realize just, oh my God, all the bad things that can happen. And the body's gonna break where it's the weakest. So for some it's the kidney, for some it's the liver, so for some it's the heart, or whatever internal organs or system breaks, because simply that sugar overload that we have, and as one of the good doctors put it, we literally rot away from inside. So, well, one of the most important things we can do, or at least what I think I can do, and I'm dedicated to do so, is not to go to sleep and spend 1/3 of my life with unhealthy level of sugar circulating. And one of the other factors I learned is that, well, we have about 600 different hormones in our body responsible for various things, but basically it's a big communication system. And our sleepy hormone, the melatonin, counteracting the insulin. So at nighttime, or even starting at 4 o'clock in the afternoon, we simply don't even make, our insulin is not, even if we make it, it's going to be counteracted by melatonin. So we are less efficient uh, taking care of the sugar. And of course, then we have the insulin resistance. Well, then it's it's the other side of the equation. But nonetheless, what can we do on a practical end of things? Well, I'm out here walking, and I'm just gonna keep walking, doing physical work, burn up that excess sugar in my blood. And in my case, I eat once a day. I go into ketogenic lifestyle, and maximizing the window for my body to do cleaning. And then I will go into, as I have done it, into periodic longer fasting to do deeper cleaning. But it's a long process. It's a long process. It's not happening from one day to another. So that's why the AMU is a godsend technology, because my wife's made a comment that this poking the finger is hurt. She doesn't want to do it. And I said, well, guess what? Nobody likes to do it. That's why most people will not do it on a consistent, regular basis. And let's face it, poking my finger every hour, forget it. So in any event, it's a godsend device. Concluding the third week was the best so far. I set out to change the timing of my food intake, and I signify that with a blue cell, color the cells blue, where I managed to either achieve it or sufficient action has been taken. So the first day, on Sunday, before mealtime, I was below 6. That was a good win. I was very encouraged by it, and I had a very good night. The next day, before meal, well, it was 6.8, and I'm referring to blood test at this point. And but AMU was right on the spot. So blood test, if you look at the Monday 10 a.m. right here, practically the same. And then an hour later, I just had time to do a quick blood test, and I wanted to see where I'm at, but I was very hungry, so I ate. But I wanted to eat sooner than later, because I'm still taking a long time to process, at least in the afternoon and evening, the sugar. Tuesday was definitely a win for me, despite the fact that I had a very heavy, stressful period, but I remained with 6.4 with the blood test, and that was very good. I closed that day with a win as well, and the following day. But by Thursday, I had some non-planned food intake. I was stressed, and I had an evening food intake. I didn't even bother to measure at this point. I didn't want to get discouraged. And the next couple of days, I went very well. In a matter of fact, Saturday I started a 2 days fast. But my week is ending on Saturday, so I actually squared out, highlighted this period after 11 Saturday, because AMU is not calibrated to measure anything over 24 hours if you're not taking food. And it shows, and I'm making this recording on Sunday, so AMU was way off after 2 days of fasting, so I didn't trust much of that value, even though the first 10 days we had a period when it seemed like it was close enough, but it's still very early to draw final conclusions on this. So while I continue calibrate AMU, and the good news is, looking at statistically speaking, it's improving. So the second week I closed with 40% accuracy. Now it's up to over 60% accuracy. So it seems like it's getting better. And even when it's not so-called accurate, the difference is so minimal. It's just basically a 1/10 of a point, and it's maybe a couple of points on the American system on the milligram scale. So in any event, I was very encouraged by the third week how it closed, and start shifting my attention in how to make use of this data, the pattern. I start looking for patterns, the morning, the midday, and evening patterns, how my body is responding to different approaches I do, and that is where my attention should be anyway. But so far, I need to know how accurate is AMU. So I guess for a couple of more weeks or a few more weeks, and it will be as accurate as it can be. So that's it for the third week. I continue this, and let's see what kind of patterns I can recognize and utilize in this journey.